Hello everyone. Today I'm sharing with you question 1 from Broderick Mid-Year Paper 2018, Paper 1. Now in this question, we note the word regular polygon, exterior angle and interior angle. Reference to the diagram, A is the exterior angle, B is the interior angle. And we note that exterior angle equals 360 degrees divided by n, where n is the number of sides of polygon. Take note that A and B are adjacent angles on the straight line. So A plus B equals 180 degrees. Given that ratio of exterior angle to interior angle is 1:5. Hence, A plus B equals to 6 units of the angles. 6 units is equivalent to 180 degrees. Therefore, 1 unit is equivalent to 30 degrees. Applying the formula for exterior angle, 360 over n is equals to 30 degrees. Hence, n is equals to 12. Which is the number of sides of the regular polygon. So we end the session here. Goodbye. Hello everyone, I'm back again. Today I'm sharing question 2 from Broderick Mid-Year Paper 1, 2018. Now in this question you are given ACDE is a parallelogram of areas 35.7 centimeters squared. AB is 4 cm, BC is 4.5 cm. Before we proceed, we note the key points. Area of parallelogram equals base times height. Area of triangle equals half base times height. We are required to find the area of triangle ABE. So let H be the height of parallelogram ACDE. H is also the height of the small triangle ABE. ED times H is area of parallelogram ACDE. Hence, 8.5H equals 35.7. So the height equals 4.2 cm. Area of triangle is half base times height. Hence, half times the base AB, which is 4, times the height, 4.2. So this equals 8.4 centimeter. Come to the end of the session. Thank you and goodbye.
Broderick Paper 1, Question 4. This question says that a circle with radius r, the area is increased by 44%, and you get another circle with bigger r, of course. So the question is asking us, what is the increase in the percentage of the radius? So what we can do here is the small circle, the original one, area is pi r squared, small r. Area of the big one is pi big r squared. So this area, the small area, where we increase by 44%, the new area you will get as 100% increased by 44% of the original area. So the big area becomes 144% of pi r squared. So this big area is the same as pi big r squared. We can cancel off the pi, and that will leave us with the big R squared equals to 144 out of 100 times R squared, which gives us 1.44 R squared, which means that your big R is a square root of 1.44 R squared, and that will give us big radius equals to 1.2 R. But what the question wants is the percentage increase in the radius. So, percentage increase in radius would be the new radius, take away the original radius, divide by the original radius, times 100%. Now before R, all this refers to 1R, 1R. 1.2R, take away 1R, will give you 0.2R over 1R times 100%. You can cancel away the R, and your final answer will be 20%. Broderick, question 5A. We are given two numbers. The first one is 1125, which can be expressed as a product of its prime factors, 3 squared times 5 cubed. We are given another number, p, and this is a positive integer which we are supposed to find out. There are two conditions that we have to satisfy. The first condition is that HCF is 15, and the second condition that P must be divisible by 21. What is the meaning of divisible by 21? That means when you do this operation, the outcome must be an integer or a whole number. It cannot be a fraction. That is the meaning of divisibility. You cannot have a fraction. Okay, let's start to look at the first condition. Highest common factor is 15, which is the same as 3 times 5. That means that your P must be at least 3 times 5. Otherwise, it will not be the highest common factor. So that there's a 3 here, that is a 5 here, and these are common factors. So the next thing you have to check is your second condition. If you have P as 3 times 5, would that be divisible by 21? Let's check. So 3 times 5, is it divisible by 21? 3 times 5 divide by 3 times 7. You can cancel out the 3 and you will be left with 5 over 7, which is obviously a fraction. and therefore not divisible by 21. How do we get rid of this fraction? We don't want the 7 at the bottom because we want the entire operation to be divisible by 21. So to get rid of the 7, the way to go about it is to multiply by 7. Okay? Because when you multiply by 7, you can cancel out. Okay, this will be 3 times 7 over 21. And then you will get a whole number 5. So therefore, when P is equal to this entire number, which is 3 times 5 times 7, it will satisfy both conditions. Firstly, the HCF is 3 times 5, and secondly, the entire number here, which is 105, is divisible by 21 because you get 5. So therefore, your P is equal to 105. Broderick, Paper 1, question 5b. This question is on compound interest, so the first thing you should do is to bring in the formula. 5b, and the formula that is given in the exam paper is A equals to P 1 plus R over 100 to the power of n. A refers to the total amount of money that you will get at the end of the 3 years, and that is $2,300. P is the amount of money that you put in the bank, the original amount. R refers to the rate of interest, which in this case is 1.2%. But take note that this question is compounded monthly. So 1.2% is given for the whole year per annum. So for per month, you must divide by 12 because it's compounded every month. And it's kept in the bank for 3 years. So 3 years, for each year, you will compound 12 times because there are 12 months in the year. So for 3 years, you will compound altogether 36 times because there are 36 months in 3 years. So let's continue. You get a calculator and you work out this part. You type in exactly the way it is and you will get 1.0366372. You bring that over, you divide, and you will get P as 2218.71. But the question wants you to bring to the nearest dollar, and that will give you 2219.
Hello everyone, this is Mr. Ko here. So now I'm explaining question 8 from Broderick Paper 1. The question is asking you to find the original number of rose flowers. So now, based on the ratio that is given, the number of rose buds, or the ratio of the rose buds to the rose flowers is 7:2. Now, to avoid ratios, it will be easier to do it by the actual numbers. So let the actual number of rose buds be 7x, then the actual number of flower buds is 2x. Okay, according to the question, if 1/4 of the rose buds blooms to flowers, then the difference is 36. So we take the number of rose buds and subtract away 1/4 of it. Okay, So that will be the new number of rosebuds. And we subtract it, subtract this, and then the number of rose flowers will increase by 1/7/4x. So then the difference is 36. So a little bit of simple subtraction and we'll get x to be 24. So therefore the original number of rose flowers will be 2x, will be 2 times 24, and that's 48. And then it's done. Okay, now I move on to question 9. 9A is a classic workers and time problem. Okay, it's a classic case of inverse proportion. So if 9 workers is 20 hours, then clearly one worker will take a much longer time. So instead of normal like direct proportion, you divide by 9. Here you multiply by 9, and that's the time taken. So if you have n workers, of course they'll be faster than one worker. So you divide by n, and so the answer is 180/n hour. Okay, then I move on to part B. Part B is a direct proportion. So you let d be the vertical falling distance, and according to the question, is directly proportional to the square of the time taken. And so d is kt squared, and you are given that originally the falling distance is at when the time is t. So at is kt squared. Now the new time is just the old time plus 50% more. So 50% is half. So it's t plus half t is 3/2t. So the new falling distance will just be k times the new time, which is 3/2t squared. Remember, the square covers the 3/2 as well. And when you square 3/2, you get 9/4. So it's 9/4 kt squared. But looking at part 1, equation 1, you'll see that kt squared is actually 80. So you substitute the 80 in, and that's 180 meters. Thank you.
Hello everyone, so this is question 11. So before we start, let's look at the question. We're supposed to sketch this graph, and then we need to indicate y-intercept, turning point. Okay, so let's be practical here. Whatever they don't want, I'm not going to give. So like x-intercept, I'm not giving because they never asked for it. And then eventually we're going to write down the equation of the line of symmetry. So let's settle one by one. So let's do y-intercept first. To find y-intercept, we need to sub x equals 0. And then after I sub, my y is 5. So I know that I'm going to cut at 5. Okay, so I'll label it down first. After that, the turning point, I can literally see it from the equation. So that will be -2 and 9. So how do I get -2? -2 comes from the number that makes this bracket 0. So if x is -2, this whole bracket becomes 0. And then 9 comes from here. So the 9 is the maximum value in this case. So that's how I get this. So after that, I'm going to label this. So -2 is, I don't know, man, roughly here. Okay, so this is -2, this is 9. And then this is the turning point. And just by looking at the formula, you can see that this is, the bracket square has a negative. So this is going to be a maximum point. Even if you don't know it, the law of common sense expect you to know that you have to draw it down. You know, how are you going to cut this 5, right? So it's pretty common sense. So how do you draw? The shape is more important than the accuracy in this case. Okay, so it's okay, nice enough. So I'm going to label. Okay, then I'm done. So next, we need to write down the line of symmetry. So if you know that this is a quadratic graph, the line of symmetry is the one that divides the graph into 2 equal parts. And this vertical lines equation will be x equal to -2. And that's all. Thank you. Hi everyone, this is question 12. So this is obviously a sets question. So we have a universal set here, 0 to 15. We got a, multiples of 3. We have got b, which is a factor of 60. So as with all sets questions, you need to list down everything. So a, multiples of 3, I'm going to write down everything within 0 to 15. Same thing for B, these are all the factors of 60. They are between 0 to 15. After that, I'll look at the question. So I need to list the elements of A union B for the whole thing prime. It's very important to know that it's a prime. So to figure this out, we need to find A union B first. A union B means A and B just all add together. So this is the whole list of numbers. And then after that, I need to prime this. See, the prime is here. So literally means whatever is not inside here is my answer. So I'm going to read off. So from 0 to 15, I'm going to read off one by one. So starting from 0. 0, is it here? 0 is not here. That's why 0 is part of the answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 8 not here. That's why 7 and 8 over here. 9, 10, 11. 11 is not here. Here. 12, 13, 14. 13, 14 is not here. So that's why 14 is the answer. And 15 is here. And that's how I get the answer. This set over here. So the next part of this question will be this shading part. So we need to shade the region A intersect B prime. So let's start with where is A intersect B first. So A intersect B is over here, but that's not where I want. In fact, I want the opposite of this area. So wherever I'm not shading now is the answer. So literally I just reverse everything. I shade everything except this part. So everything except this part I'm shading, and that's my answer for the part 1. So part 2, we are supposed to draw the set C on the diagram, which is and C is what? C is a subset of A. So this symbol here means C is a subset of A, meaning the entire C is inside A. So let me change color here. So there's two ways to draw this. C can be here, or C can be here. See, both circles are inside A, but this is not touching B, but this circle is touching B. And that's so which one do we want? I don't know. I need to look at the next criteria. So C intersect B is a null set. That means C does not intersect B. So just with this, you know that this circle is definitely wrong. So this must be the C. Then we're done. Thank you.
For question 13a, you are given the unknown equation y equals to ax to the power of n, and you're told that n is an integer, that means a whole number, and you're told that the curve passes through the point 2, 1. Okay, from this graph that is given, you should recognize that it comes from the basic shape of the curve y equals to 1 over x squared. As you can see that the value of y are all positive values. That is because x, whether it is positive or negative, after you take power 2, it becomes positive. So 1 divided by a positive value will always give you positive values of y. That is why you see that the two parts of the curves are always above your x-axis. So you have to memorize the shape of this basic graph. And y equals to 1 over x squared is actually 1 times x to the power of negative 2, because the equation given to you has x to the power of n. So I want to rewrite this equation into the form x to the power of negative 2. So if you were to compare, you can see that actually n is equals to negative 2. So that is the answer for n. It is negative 2. Okay, next I need to find the unknown value of a using this information that this point passes through, that this point is actually on this graph that is given. So now I'm going to write down my equation, which is y equals to a x, and my n is actually negative 2. Now I substitute the point 2, 1, and it is x and y coordinates into this equation. So y is 1. I have to find the value of a, and x value is 2, giving me 2 to the power of negative 2. And this gives me a times 1 over 2 to the power of 2, which is actually 1/4, giving me the value of A equals to 4. So that is for question 13A. Now let's look at question 13B. You are told that the time taken, which is in terms of Y hours, to do a paint job is inversely proportional to the number of workers. So what is the meaning of inversely proportional? It means that as the number of workers increases, the time taken to do the same job actually decreases because you have more helpers now. So this is what it means by inversely proportional. So to represent this relationship in terms of an equation, we write y equals to k over x, whereby k is the constant. So this equation will give you this relationship whereby as x increases, your y value decreases. So the more workers you have, the time taken actually decreases. So in terms of drawing a graph to show this relationship, I want to have the values of x increasing. So I go to the right of the graph, and also x values must be positive. I'm going to use only the positive values of x-axis because the number of workers has to be positive. And the time taken to actually complete the work is also a positive value because time has to be positive. So now the graph that I draw will look like this. This means that as my number of workers increases, as my x value increases, the y value actually decreases. So the relationship is shown like this. X increases, but the value of y decreases. Alright, so this completes question 13b. Thank you. Before we answer question 14a, you have to remember the formula that tells us how to change negative index to a positive index. So if x to the power negative n has to be changed from the negative index to a positive index, this would be equals to 1 over x to the power n. For example, x to the power negative 2 is actually 1 over x to the power 2. So now looking at this question, you have to simplify this, leaving the answer in positive index. So I note that x to the power negative 2 has a negative index, and y to the power negative 5 is also a variable with a negative index. So I'm going to change the negative index to positive index. For this term, it becomes 25. Y to the power of 3 over x to the power of 2. So to change x to the power negative 2 into positive index, it actually becomes the denominator divided by, and here I want to change the y to the power negative 5 to the positive index. I also make it become the denominator. So it becomes 15 x to the power 3 over y to the power 5. Next, I will change this division sign into multiplication sign, and I will swap the numerator and the denominator. So the denominator becomes numerator, and the denominator and the numerator becomes the denominator. And my first term remains unchanged, so I'll just copy it again. Alright, then next, numerator times numerator, and y to the power of 3 times y to the power of 5. When I have the same base and I multiply, I'm supposed to add the index. So it becomes 3 plus 5, giving me to the power of 8 over x squared times 15 x to the power of 3. So I'll usually write the number in front, so 15 x to the power of 2 times x to the power of 3 having the same base, I will add up the index. So 2 plus 3, I'll get x to the power of 5. Then I will reduce the numbers to the lowest terms. So this will be divided by 5, giving me 5. And this divided by 5 will give me 3. So I reduce the fraction 25 over 15 to the lowest term, which is 5 over 3. And finally, my answer would then be 5 y about 8 over 3 x to the power of 5. Now let's look at question B. I'm supposed to solve the unknown x in this given equation. And you notice that actually I have to change the term in the right hand side to base 3, just like the base on the left hand side of the equation. So let me write down the equation now. The left hand side remains unchanged. And on the right hand side, 1 over 9 can be written as 1 over 3 to the power of 2 to the power of x. Next, I will want to rewrite the right hand side so that it is base 3 now. So I'm going to change it to 3 to the power of negative 2 to the power of x. Now I have the same base and these two terms are equal to each other. So my conclusion is that the index is then equal to each other. So 2 times x plus 1 is equal to negative 2x. And this will give you an answer of negative half. A in order to find the gradient of this straight line AC. To find the coordinates of point A, I know that the y coordinate is 0. So I'm going to do substitution again. Substitute this point into the equation. And we do know that the value of k is 3. Let us write down the equation now. Y equals to x plus 2. 2x minus k, and k is 3. So I have 2x minus 3. Now I'm going to substitute a, which is x0, into the equation. So x plus 2 times 2 times x minus 3. This is a multiplication of 2 terms, and the left hand side is equals to 0. Therefore, I can conclude that x plus 2 is equals to 0, or 2x minus 3 is equals to 0. So x equals to minus 2, or x equals to 1.5. So what do these two values tell me? It tells me that the coordinates of A is minus 2, 0. And the coordinates of B is the second value of x. So the coordinates of B is 1.5, 0. So A is negative 2, 0. After knowing the coordinates of A, I'll be able to find the gradient of the line AC. So let's work out the gradient of line AC. Gradient of line AC, I'll use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So A is negative 2, 0, and this is x1, y1. C is 2, 4, and this is your x2, y2. So I do the substitution into the gradient formula. So it's 4 minus 0 over 2 minus negative 2. And this gives me a value of 1. So therefore my equation would be y equals to mx plus c. My m is actually the value of 1. So I'll get x plus c. Now I need to go and solve what is the y-intercept value c. So I will do substitution again. I can substitute the value of the coordinates of A or the coordinates of C. So let me substitute the coordinates of C. Substitute C, which is 2, 4. So 4 equals to 2 plus C, and C is equals to 2. So my equation would then be y equals to x plus 2. Now let's look at part C. Part C says that a straight line is drawn from B to C, and I have to find the area of the triangle ABC. The area of triangle ABC. Let me draw the straight line from B to C now. Let me redraw this as much as possible. Now we have to find the area of this triangle. Draw it. So this is the area of the triangle that we have to find. And so I recall that the formula to find the area of the triangle is half times base times height. So where's the base for this triangle? The base would be the length AB. So what is the distance between point A and point B? I will take 1.5 minus away -2. So it's actually a difference of 3.5 units here. From -2 to 1.5 is actually a difference of 3.5 units. What about the perpendicular height? The perpendicular height is dropping from point C downwards. I'm going to draw a perpendicular line. From C to the base AB. This is actually your perpendicular height, and it has actually a height of 4 units. This value is 4. So I will have half times the base, which is 3.5 times the height, giving me a total of 7 units squared.
Hi everyone, this is question 20. Okay, so you have a right angle triangle where B is located due south of A. Okay, and then you also know that the scale, okay, is 1 cm is to 550 meters, which means that every 1 cm on this diagram here is representing 550 meters. Okay, so first part of the question, you want to construct perpendicular bisectors for the line segment AB and AC. So how do you construct a perpendicular bisector? Right, making use of your compasses. Okay, let's draw for AB first. Okay, I'm going to choose a distance that is slightly more than half the length of AB. Alright, and then I will draw an arc on each side of the line. Alright, without shifting the distance, okay, I'm just going to move the compass to point A, and then I draw arc on both sides of the line as well. Okay, so you see the 2 points there. Okay, you draw a line to connect. Okay, and there you have the perpendicular bisector of, okay, the line AB. Okay, doing the same thing for AC. Okay, again, I choose a distance that is slightly more than half of my length of AC. And likewise, I'm going to draw an arc on both sides of the line. So one here and one here. Okay, without shifting the distance, go to the other side. Okay, I draw an arc here, another arc here. Right, then, okay, I draw a straight line passing through the 2 points here. Okay, my perpendicular bisector of AC is done as well. So you can see 90 degrees. Alright, next thing, part B. Using the perpendicular bisectors drawn in A, you need to draw a circle that points A, B, and C lie on the circumference of the circle. Okay, so recall, okay, previously in circle properties, okay, you learned that right angle in a semicircle. So if ABC is supposed to touch the circumference of the, okay, it's supposed to touch the circumference of the circle, and ABC is a right angle, right? Because right angle triangle. Okay, then you know that AC must be the diameter. Alright, so to draw a circle touching all 3 points, ABC, with AC as the diameter, okay, you know that the origin of the circle must lie on the line AC. Okay, and you already actually have the point of the origin, okay, because the perpendicular bisector actually cuts your line AC exactly into half. And if AC is the diameter, then this point here must be the radius. Okay, so you can take your compass, okay, from this point here, the origin, put a sharp point. You open up your compass to point A. All right, point A. And then you draw a circle. Okay, you draw a circle. Okay, so you can see that the circle that I've drawn, all right, passes through, okay, it touches B, A, and C. If AC is the diameter, okay, a right angle in a semicircle. Okay, so the circle is drawn. Okay, in part C, you want to calculate the actual area of the circle drawn. So this is the circle that you have. If you want to find area of this circle, okay, you need the radius. So you just measure your distance here, the radius of this circle that you have drawn. Okay, so it's about 6 centimeters. All right, so the actual distance is 6 centimeters. Okay, you know that 1 centimeter represents 550 meters. So 6 centimeters represent, okay, 3,300. Okay, so you times 6. Okay, you get 3,300 meters. And because over here, my question, it says I want my answers in kilometers. So let me just convert this to kilometers, 3.3 kilometers. Okay, so you already have the length here. The actual length is 3.3 kilometers. You want to find the actual area. So you just take pi r square. Okay, and it will give you 34.2119. Okay, so 34.2 kilometers square. Okay, so 34.2. Okay, the next part. The developer wants to build a gym on the land ABC at point G, okay, where G is situated inside the circle. So it's going to be inside this circle. Okay, on a bearing of 280 degrees from point B. So the bearing of 280 degrees from point B. Okay, so for bearing, okay, just take a look at this. Okay, so you know something like that, right? So this part here, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270. So I need another 10 more degrees to make my bearing 280 degrees. So if you look at your circle that you have drawn, okay, so this is point B. So if you just visualize that axis that I have, 90, 180, 270, I need another 10 more degrees. Right, so you take your protractor. Alright, measure out 10 degrees. Okay, so somewhere over here, this dot here. And then from point B, I'm going to draw out. Alright, from here, point B, I'm going to draw out. Alright, so point G, okay, look at the criteria again. Okay, point G is inside the circle on a bearing of 280 degrees. So anywhere along this line, alright, it is on a bearing of 280 degrees. This is 10 degrees here, right? And then it must be inside the circle and it must be on, okay, triangle ABC. So anywhere along this point here, okay, from here all the way to B, okay, it's a possible answer. So you can place your X, alright, or any point along this line, you just place your letter G. Alright, it cannot be outside because it must be on the land itself. So ABC, anywhere along this point here. Alright. Okay, hi everyone. This is question 21. Alright, so box A contains 6 red balls, 2 yellow balls, and 4 green balls, okay, which means total 12. And box B contains 6 red balls and 3 green balls, total 9. Okay, a ball is drawn from box A and put into box B. And a second ball is then drawn at random, okay, from box B. Okay, which means that in the second draw, the total number of balls in box B is actually 10. Alright, so to find the values A, B, C, and D, okay, value of A, okay, so there were initially 6 red in box B, and then you took 1 from box A. So total is 7. Alright, so there was initially 3 green balls, so this is still 3 out of 10. Okay, the value of C, nothing changes. You took a yellow ball, so number of green is still 3 out of 10. And then for value of D, the yellow ball still remains as 0 out of 10, okay, which is simplified to 0. Okay, let's take a look at question B. Okay, for part 1, you want to find the probability that a green ball is picked followed by a red ball. So if you look at your tree diagram, okay, you want a case where you obtain a green, okay, then the red. So I want to take the green followed by the red. So 1/3 times 3 over 5, okay, which gives you 1 out of 5. In part 2, you want to have at least 1 red ball. So the different outcomes, okay, at least 1 means it can be 1 or both red balls. So we have red and red, red and yellow, red and green. So there are 3 outcomes already. Then after that, it can also be a yellow red or green red. Okay, so I'm going to add up all the possibilities together. Okay, and then my final answer. Okay, part 3 has 2 different ways of doing it. One is you add up the case where 2 balls are of different colors. Okay, so you can see that all these outcomes here are all of different colors. Okay, but the other way of doing it is also, you can also take 1 minus the case where both are red, minus the case where both are yellow, and minus the case where both are green. Okay, both methods will give you the same answer, half. Alright, that's all. Hi everyone, this is question 22. Okay, where you have a triangular flower bed PQR, where PR is 385 meters, QR is 335 meters, and angle QPR is 60 degrees. Okay, so look at part A. Okay, you are trying to find the obtuse angle PQR. Alright, look at what the information that's given to you. You have 60 degrees and the side that is opposite it, 335 meters, and you also have 385 meters, okay, which is opposite the unknown Q. So you want to find the obtuse angle PQR. Okay, you can use the sine rule. So we have sine angle PQR, okay, over 385, okay, is equals to sine angle 60 degrees over 335. Okay, then to find sine angle PQR, okay, you have 385 sine 60 over 335. Alright, then angle PQR, sine inverse 385 sine 60 over 335. Okay, which will give you, okay, 84.430. Okay, but you also notice that 84.430 is less than 90 degrees. Okay, which makes it an acute angle. Okay, which is not what we are looking for, right? We are trying to find the obtuse angle. So how do you find the obtuse angle? Okay, to find obtuse angle PQR, okay, you take 180 degrees minus 84.430. And then your result will be 95.570. And it angles, right, so just leave it to 1 decimal place, so 95.6 degrees. Okay, why do you take 180 minus? Okay, recall that your sine theta and your sine 180 minus theta, okay, actually gives you the same value, right? Okay, so this is 95.6, okay, degrees. Okay, for question B, a vertical pole is erected at point Q, then a string is tied from the top, okay, to the point R. Okay, so given that the length of the string is 450 meters, find the angle of elevation. So just imagine you have a point Q over here. A vertical pole is erected. Okay, the word vertical is telling you that it's actually to the ground 90 degrees. Okay, and from the top of the pole a string to point R. Okay, so I have point R, and this is 450 meters. And you want to find the angle of elevation of the top of the pole from R. So this is top of the pole. You want to find the angle of elevation. So you have, okay, 335 meters. Okay, right angle triangle. Okay, you have adjacent side, you have the hypotenuse side. How do you find the angle? Okay, you have cosine theta, the adjacent side over the hypotenuse side. So find theta is cosine inverse 335 over 450, okay, which gives you 41.888. Okay, angle 1 decimal place, okay, 41.9 degrees. Okay, question C. You have a gardener walk from Q to X, where X is a point on PR. Okay, so a gardener is going to walk from Q to X. Okay, so Q to X. Okay, but you don't know where exactly X is, but you know that X is going to lie on PR. Okay, what other information is given? Okay, assuming that he took the shortest path. Okay, so the keyword here is shortest path. So if I want to go from Q to PR and I want the shortest path, then it must be the 90 degrees distance. Okay, so starting from Q, I'm going to walk towards, okay, PR at 90 degrees. So this is my point X. Okay, so how am I going to find this shortest distance, QX? Okay, look at the information that you have. Okay, I have 335. Okay, I have 385. Okay, I already have angle P, I have angle Q. Okay, let's take a look at this right angle triangle. Okay, can I find angle R? Okay, I can find angle R first. So I'm going to find angle PRQ. Okay, so PRQ is taking 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. Okay, minus what you found previously, 95.57. Okay, and it will give you 24.43 degrees. Alright, so right angle triangle. Okay, you have a right angle triangle here. You have the hypotenuse side. Okay, you have the hypotenuse side. You are trying to find the opposite side. So QX is the opposite side. Opposite hypotenuse. Okay, I make use of sine. Okay, so sine 24.43 degrees. Okay, the opposite side, which is my QX. Okay, and then my hypotenuse, 335. So QX is 335 sine 24.43. Okay, and this will give you 138.54. Okay, then 139 meters, right? Okay, but this is not all. You want to find the time taken. So you have the distance, you have the speed. To find the time taken, okay, you need to take the distance traveled, 138.54, over the speed. Okay, so 138.54 divided by 1.4. Okay, you have 98.957 seconds to three significant figures, 39.0. Alright, and finally, the last part, XR. Okay, you want to find the distance XR. Okay, you have a right angle triangle, right? You have 335, you have already found QX. So simply make use of Pythagoras Theorem. Okay, you find XR square. Okay, identify where is the longer side first. Okay, you have 335 square. Okay, minus QX, which you have found in the previous part, 138.54 square. Okay, and then find XR. Okay, so square root of 335 square minus 138.54 square. Okay, you have 305.010. Okay, 3 significant figures, 305 meters. Alright, that's all.